I forgot the name of the podcast. Like the episode, it would have been nice to have. Podcast will start in 0.532 seconds. Welcome back, everybody, to the Matches and Mayhem podcast. I am your host, Phoenix, the Duel Master. I do have the lovely Nora, the Vendetta Queen, on your screen.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about the challenge, season 40, episode 15, the Thinking Thin Era. Let's get into it. First of all, that title, Thinking Thin Era, I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like a mouthful, and it doesn't. I guess it kind of makes sense if you think about the challenge for the day, but a little lackluster. All right, so as soon as we get into the episode, we have a little bit of drama, not too much though. We have Corey and Carla Maria kind of talking in the shadows, solidifying their alliance. And then we have Johnny commenting on how Cara Maria is trying to get her alliance up. And I think he's maybe a little bit threatened. I don't know if that's what he's feeling, but Johnny's probably been on edge the last couple of weeks since the Angels have been under attack. So what are your thoughts on that? You think Cara Maria alliances are going to help her out?
No, not at all. It's too late. It's too late.
It's too late.
I mean, just in general, her game, it's just done. Pack it up. It's done.
And as a resident Cara Maria fan, I am a little bit disappointed in her this season. I wanted this season to be where she got to show out and really show what she's been capable of and showing why she's one of the best female challengers that has played the game. But she's been a little bit quiet. And I don't know if it's because, she lost Polly early on and then the beef with Laurel, and it kind of just stole a little bit of life out of her. But I've been a little bit disappointed. Cara is one of my favorites, so big disappointed here.
Yeah, definitely extremely boring this season. I'm okay if she never comes back.
Oh, let's cut her a little slack. When we still have a few episodes left, she could still get some life breath back into her.
I don't know. I think we're in a shifting season here where things are shifting. Laurel shouldn't ever be asked back if she's just going to quit. Cara Maria could care less about winning anything. I don't know what the hell she's doing all day, but staring at the clouds. I don't really know. Don't ask her back. Boring. Just a whole cast of boring people that we only have to bank on Johnny for making this show interesting. Otherwise, I truly think it would have been canceled after this season.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a hot take.
Don't think I'll sit through another season. This will be my last season of the challenge. After
Really?
last season was horrific. That, I'd rather have watched golf than that season. I mean, well, we didn't even finish it. I literally gave up halfway. And I couldn't tell you anybody that was on it because it was not rememberable. And this is becoming the same exact way. It was way too long. And just nothing's happening. It's just this boring feet talk and Johnny's Angels talk. Other than that, we have nothing going on.
I can see your point of view. I do think this season, to me, a season 40 should have been a lot grander, a lot bigger, a lot flashier, a lot more things going on. But I do feel it has taken a dive. And maybe that's because a lot of the challenge favorites from past seasons were knocked out early, like CT, Eric, Darrell, and I think what's left now is based off of alliances. A lot of them is what kept them in the game. And I do think that has a lot to do with why the season isn't as eventful or exciting or fun. And I mean, really what's left is, like you said, John. And we have Jordan, who's being extremely quiet this season. Yeah, Jordan has a weird but interesting game. He likes to rely a lot of his athleticism, and he does make moves, but he hasn't been making moves. I think maybe because he has Tori and he's confident in Tori as a competitor. So he has really nothing to worry about. If Tori wins, he wins. He doesn't have much he needs to do.
I don't know, but I can promise you, I'm not going to tune in next season at this rate. I won't be watching.
Okay.
Like, it's just too boring. And the ones that are coming up lack any kind of personality. I mean, Kylan couldn't remember his name until this season. Couldn't even tell you his name. Watched him on Big Brother. Watched him last season. Didn't even remember him on either of them. Wouldn't have even been able to pick him out of a lineup, a police lineup. Great competitor. I'm happy he's winning. He's a great competitor. No personality to him. If it was just him leading, like in a Johnny role, there's no TV to it. Turn it off. I mean, it's at the point I'd rather go do laundry and fold laundry than watch these episodes. At least this week had a decent challenge, but it was still miserable to sit through and actually have to pay attention.
All right, so, and you're a long-time challenge fan. I mean, you and I have both watched all 40 seasons of the challenge, I think within the last year, right? Mm-hmm. So, as somebody who now is feigning interest in the challenge, what can they do? And what can they do to bring you back in? I'm sure there's something, but what can they do?
Honestly, it's who they're casting, and it's maybe they need to branch out in casting. Maybe they need to pay more to the ones that have personality. And even if they're good competitors, I'm sorry, but if they have no personality to keep this going, and that's the problem, the personalities are aging out. You know, they're kind of dwindling down. I'm sorry, I'm not watching a season with Jenny and Kylan being our personalities. I won't. I just can't. I can barely stand them talking in this season, and they're winning, but they just offer no personality, nothing to the conversation. They bore me. And I don't know how they can fix this, because obviously it's time for Johnny, CT, all these big guys to kind of start. Physically, they're not going to be able to keep up with these young guys much longer. I mean, they're doing great now. Johnny's doing great in the sense of he can still run and stuff. He's trying. We saw he's not physically fit, you know. Tony seemed pretty fit, and he was gone pretty early. Leroy, maybe. I mean, he never did great, but at least they have some kind of personalities. Corey, too. He has a personality that's likable, but he's too Mr. Goody Two-Shoes that doesn't... I don't know. I mean, I'll just go watch a sports game if I want to watch something competitive. If there's no reality TV to it, I'll just put on a basketball game. If I want to see people just competing, why would I watch the challenge? Part of it is personality. I would say more than even the competitive side of it, it's the personality to keep people engaged. And if we were left with all these new people like Jenny, Kylan, I couldn't even tell you half the other names because I honestly don't remember half of their names half the time. It ain't happening. It's just...
All right, so...
It's not.
Okay, so... You bring up an interesting point. I think a lot of the challenge, I mean, yes, it's a challenge, but it did bring competitors from reality TV that we watch. Initially, Real World, Road Rules, and, now it extended its universe. But I do agree that, to me, a lot of fun watching the challenge was, the challenges were fun, but it's also about the different interactions of people that, you've seen on TV interacting with each other. And, CT at one of the early stages was a hothead, and then, you have certain groups of friends, and, Veronica and Rachel and I forgot her name, but they were all together, and they had interaction. And it was drama. There was a lot of drama, and we all like a little bit of drama, right? It's part of the whole trashy reality TV shows to watch drama unfold on TV. And I mentioned this before in the podcast and earlier in the season, but I do think we're lacking a lot of drama. I mean, we've had a little bit with Cara and Laura, but that to me wasn't even drama. It's just two people just whining and complaining. It's not even real drama. It's just it's just like two little kids arguing and fighting. That, I don't know. I just feel like it has lost a little bit of that, and I think
it's lost a lot
better
of that.
cast. Yeah, I think a better cast might do it good, or better casting. I do think when they brought in the UK people, it did bring a lot of fresh blood into it. I don't know the specifics of why a lot of them aren't here. I think there's some legal things, but Kyle was a good addition to to the show. Like he brought something different. So maybe something like that is what the challenge needs.
It's missing personality because our lead people, our winners, lack personality for TV. And I'm not saying in real life they're bad people or not likable. They might be, but it doesn't make for good reality TV. I mean, Tina's not a great competitor, but she's amazing on reality TV. She's worth more than Jenny will ever be worth on this TV show. And I don't care how many times Jenny can win a challenge, beat up, whatever. If I was sitting there and had to do payroll, Jenny, you will get pennies. Tina, you'll get it all because you make for reality TV. And if these people came to just sit and watch somebody win with no personality, they will turn on the sports network. Why would I put on these people instead of just putting on basketball or football? Or if I wanted to watch just a competition that has no personality behind it, that's what I'll do. And I don't. I don't watch those unless I like certain athletes because of their personalities. Then I might tune in, but it's just really like Cara Maria this season has no personality. And she's somebody, even though she has a weird personality, it makes for good TV. She's quirky. She's different. She's not one of the popular girls.
Popular. You're gonna be popular.
But this season, it's just been like, hello, are you in the house? I don't know. I don't know if they're trying their best to try to find a way to keep this show going after this year, but there's no way people are enjoying the season like they've enjoyed past seasons. There's no way.
I am curious to hear, our other podcast members' ideas on that because I have found this one a little bit lackluster. And I mean, I think we even talked about it in the past. It was first it was too many people. The twist became predictable where we all knew, okay, they're gonna break up in a individual. And at this point, I think for me, a lot of the fun of the challenge was the twist, like things getting shaken up. And I don't know if they got to the point where they just ran out of ideas and now they're just reusing them. But and maybe that's the case. Maybe it has hit its course. And, 40 seasons, not years, but 40 seasons is a long time for a show to be running. And they have done an amazing job. But maybe, like all things, it has run its course.
Maybe my taste is changing too. Because the truth is, the reality game shows I'm into now, I don't know. They're not like this, but they're competitive and stuff. Some of like the Korean ones we've been watching. And I love them. Like, I could binge watch them all night. I would stay up till 4 a.m. watching them. Whereas the challenge, I'm watching after dinner, and I can't even, I have to sit on TikTok to get through it because I'm so bored through most of these episodes. Even with this one, where it had a great challenge, but it's just so long and boring. Like, come on, something happened. No, the challenge ends, and we're talking about fucking feet and Johnny's Angels again. That's every episode now for the last 5 episodes.
I've been up playing that a lot.
God, we're over it. We get it. That's all you guys have going in the house. Get over it. Production, find something. Dig deep.
I do think that Cara Maria, though, I think her win got knocked out early because of the whole beef with Laurel and her. And I think that probably just weighed on her a little bit. And then she probably also realized she's in a house with people that aren't really her friends. So I'm not making excuses, just an observation. Maybe that is what happened. So I'm hoping she does get a little bit of life of her going forward. But speaking of the challenge, I mean, you did mention, it was a good challenge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the challenge was good. It was actually probably the best this season, by far. It was something not predictable, something different, something that was a mix, So to me, it was probably one of the better challenges.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I did enjoy it. I knew it was going to be a long one. They were out early in the morning and it extremely late. So, it was a long, grueling day for them. It was something that I enjoyed. It was challenging for them. They were scared. A lot of them were scared. You did throw in there's rats and bats and fire ants and whatever else you could think of. So they already had a little bit of fear in them when they started this challenge. So I thought that was a nice little twist they added to it. But I thought the challenge was good. I thought it was fun. I thought it was engaging. I felt bad for my girl Aviv. She does not know how to follow directions at all. I don't know what about a giant X and a blockade in the way would make you think, hey, let me just burst right through it. But let's chalk that up to adrenaline.
That was probably the best thing production could have done is just let her do it and follow her. That added some kind of excitement. Once again, Aviv lacks any kind of personality. You wouldn't even remember her name if she hadn't, the whole Darrell thing. You wouldn't even know the girl. But that gave us something to remember her by. It's a funny thing, but that I was happy they did. Like, at least make the episode a little funny, a little something to, like, have a laugh at.
Yeah, I mean, I did admire, her grit and determination. She just wanted to go and win and gave it her all. It just ended up somewhere far away, but still admire it. And so what did you think about the puzzle? The puzzle of the face.
I'm glad they did the two-sided, because that also tells me this whole season they've been giving bullshit, easy shit that literally that none of them are thinking to flip it over, because all their puzzles have been so generic and stupid and easy. So that was, to me, just proof again. Production has been like doing the bare minimum on like what they've been giving them, that this is what took them out. This is what DQ'd Johnny, because he didn't think to flip him over, and he wasn't the only one. It was so many of them couldn't understand to look at it both ways. And to me, I'm like, that's like the norm they used to do. Those kind of puzzles were the puzzles they used to do. But I really liked that it was TJ's face. That was my favorite part. Little, a nice little treat, especially with his birthday. Funny. It was his birthday week, so.
Yeah, it was funny, and I'm sure they all probably partied with him for his birthday. They just didn't show that on, which they should have showed it if they did. That was a big missed opportunity not to show a TJ birthday celebration with just the cast, them out, maybe just drinking, party, and TJ talking, interacting with them. I think that's also something, though, now that we talk about that, I think that's something that we are missing is more interaction with TJ. I think in the earlier years, we'd have a little bit more interaction when he would come to the house sometimes, and they would get all weirded out at first, like, why is TJ here? He's never here unless it's bad. You never see that anymore. Now he calls them out at the actual challenge, but I think just a little bit more interaction with TJ and the castmates. I think that would go a long way as well, just because we all love TJ, and more of TJ would always do good for the show, I think. Mm-hmm. But I did like the double-sided puzzle. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was good. Thought it was interesting. Nobody thought to flip it over. So maybe you're right. Maybe they are just getting these easy ones, because my first instinct to be, all right, if stuff isn't matching up, start flipping over. Even if it's a cube like that, I am making sure I'm looking over everything. Maybe adrenaline has something to play with that, but yeah, I'm definitely looking at all sides. That was interesting.
Maybe being in the caves, like, disoriented them some. That could be it too. But it just, to me, I was like, dang, like, that's just, to me, production's been giving them childlike puzzles, and now they actually have one where they have to, like, use their big boy pants to figure out, and they can't comprehend how to do it because they haven't done it. Which tells me that'll probably be in the finale too. That double-sided puzzle. I think they're giving that as like, here guys,
it might
start
even be
thinking
worse.
Of it. Yeah,
it might be like a four-sided puzzle that they have to figure out.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a fun challenge. So the winners of that ended up being, who did win that one? Get that. Oh, Kylan, of course. It was Kylan, of course. Kylan won that one. And who was the other one that won? Yes, Kylan and Tori did win that. So yeah. No, Jenny. It was Kylan and Tori. I remember because
oh no, Jenny can't do puzzles.
Yeah, puzzles. No, it's a new type.
Puzzles.
Yeah, so Kylan and Tori ended up winning, and Aviv lost because of her DQ. And for the men, Johnny lost. So that hurt me because they're both two people on my team that I relied on. So it's gonna hurt me in points. But so next we go into deliberation. But before we get there, don't deliberate like clicking that like button and smashing the thumbs up. Just click the like. Hey, shameless plug here. It helps the algorithm. It keeps us, motivated to do things. Feel free to leave a comment if you guys have any questions, or if you have any comments about some of our hot takes that we may have said throughout this podcast. Yeah, so that's a question I want to pose for you since we're at it. Do you think the challenge has run its course? Do you think that, 40 seasons is about high as it go, which is still very impressive especially for a reality TV show or a competition show? I think Big Brother has how many seasons? approximately? Do you know? No. But I mean, still very impressive for anything. So, but do you think the challenge has run its course? And I don't know.
I
Is it
think
time for
whoever they're hiring for production, directing, all of that, set. I mean, we saw even on the sets, setting up the sets, and maybe it's going to be more difficult because now we have more of an inside scoop because of social media and things like that. It absolutely could keep going, just like Big Brother. Big Brother to me is just as interesting every season, but it's in a controlled, same environment, the same studio, so they have a leg up. There's other shows that are, seasons in and they're doing great. I just think whoever's running this, whoever is picking who's going to do what, the challenges, picking who's coming out to play, I think it's time to just axe them all and start fresh. Let's get a new perspective because last season and this season have been, I would say, in the top 3 worst seasons.
Well, that is a hot take. So you guys also let us know, what do you guys think, and just leave a comment below, and then we will definitely reach out to you because we actually really want to know what you guys think about this, or if we're just in the minority on this. So next we go into Deliberation. I mean, we already knew going into Deliberation, it was pretty straightforward, as Kylan already said. Even though Michelle and him didn't get along last season necessarily, here they're a little bit more on friendlier terms. And he did say, like, he looks at things logically, and, Michelle is the one he's going to pick. So we already know Bananas Angels are battling out. But Deliberation was slightly interesting because Tori did try to stir the pot, if you will, a little bit. She did try to mention, hey, I know you guys are in there, but what would Johnny do if he had to choose, between one of you two? And I will give this up to Jenna, and she caught on to it and nipped it in the bud quickly. She said, look, Johnny would make whatever decision he had to make. We're all in this together. We're angels. Whoever he picked, that's fine. We know that the other one's going to come out. And, I did respect her for that. She does have loyalty to Johnny in that regard. So, but did not stop Kylan from picking Michelle to save. So Jenny and Aviv are both in the elimination. The elimination was a rough one for Aviv because it's tailored for, people more brawn, more muscle. Not really one for agility. So Jenny was obviously the favorite in this one. What were your thoughts on the elimination?
Boring. Fast forward.
Okay.
If you haven't watched it, just fast forward. Not worth watching, in my opinion.
I liked the elimination. I think it would have been better to have 2 competitors that were more equal. Like, I would have liked to see Jenny versus Tori in that. I don't think Cara Maria, I don't think she has muscles, so let me not take that before. I think I would like to have seen.
Does she?
Yeah, she does.
We see them, but we haven't seen them used for anything.
And that's why
not physically.
This elimination would have been an opportunity for that. So, I'm saying I think it was mismatched, and having a better, matchup would have been better for that game overall. It was hard to watch. It was hard.
It's also confusing why they picked that for a girls' day elimination, not a male elimination. To me, it would have been more eventful for males to do it. But once again, production sucks, so
I am a little curious about how they're picking these games, and maybe it's pre-picked, but at the same time, if it's me, maybe not to show favoritism, but also to be more equal. If there's a game like this, I'm not bringing it out for Aviv and Jenna. I'm bringing it out for, like, Tori, Cara Maria, or, what I'm saying? Like, see people more equal, and that people actually want to see battle. I'm bringing something out like this for them. Or the guys elimination. 2 people that are equal. Like, I want to see something fun and exciting. This was just hard to watch. Aviv is giving vibes reminiscent of Backpack Johnny, hanging on to Jenny, just holding on for dear life. I mean, she's fighting, but at the same time, it's just not a game meant for her. I think that is a disservice to everybody, because I think we deserve to see something where both people have a chance to win. So, but
yes,
it is difficult.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think it is what it is, what's pulled. I'm just surprised they would put it in a girls' elimination when everybody knows it's going to be not as eventful as if they saved it for guys. That's what I don't get, is like, the girls are never going to be as, like, aggressive as the guys. Even, it's rare. And who's left, especially with who's left of the females.
Yeah.
No aggression, no nothing. Even Jenny and all the steroids she's probably pumping in her body, she's still boring as a
Oh,
rock, like maybe she doesn't, but I know they're allowed to
allegedly, we don't know if
performance,
she's.
yeah. Yeah, but a lot of those bodybuilders, they use them. Not saying they use them to like bulk to the point of being like a bodybuilder professionally, but they use them to heal their muscles and stuff. It doesn't matter. Either way, she still is boring. Nothing they would have put her in that's physical would be exciting to watch because she's still boring. And then to put her in the smallest girl with her, it's like, okay, boring.
Yeah,
Next.
like I said, yeah, I agree with that. I think it was a little boring. It was disservice to the fans. I think something a little bit more exciting would have been better. And I do think they maybe should have moved that one to a guy's elimination. I mean, they still might, but they don't seem to be using the same elimination twice so far. So maybe not. But I do think it should have been a guy's one. It would have been a lot more eventful. But are we hoping the producers are taking notes?
I also think without personalities, we're not going to get any good matches ever again. If this is what we're left with, even Tori, I'm sorry, she's boring to watch. She's extremely boring to watch. She's a great competitor, boring. I don't care if she's in an elimination because she's so like.
But do you think that's because the producers aren't showcasing? It seems like we're missing maybe a lot of things in the house. Like we're not getting those moments that we used to get in earlier seasons where they get to show off a little bit more of their personalities. It's more focused on like Johnny and
feet.
And feet. Yeah, they're pushing their feet agenda, but I don't know. It feels like is it a personality side? It might be, which I agree, but just
could be.
But
it also is none of these people can scheme. None of these people can do anything. Tina is a shitty competitor, but she makes good TV. Beth, she sucked at competing, but when she was on those episodes, it made for funny, good TV. Like stupid, dumb things. Now, granted, they're not competitors, so they couldn't go all the way, so they're going to kind of knock out. The problem is we have a whole group of people sitting in this, going into this finale that have no personality other than Johnny. So he's having to now carry this cast from here until the finale to be somewhat interesting. So his alliance, and this is why it's all based around the feet and the angels, and why all we're getting is production knows he is the only personality left. Nobody else has TV personality. Corey has a very likable one, but that doesn't make good for the challenge. It makes great for Teen Mom. It's boring on the challenge. So production knows. All we can do is talk about Johnny in hopes that maybe we can get to the finale without this being a total dud. And that's what they're doing. And that's our only thing we have going is this stupid alliance that nobody really cares. I need Tori. I need Jenny. If you guys are going to be winning, start making your own alliances. Start plotting things. Start scheming. Start talking behind people's backs. Start making this interesting. But they do not have the personalities for that. They are not made to be on reality TV.
Yeah, I think
they're very like...
Part of the reason why I miss my boy Wes. I think Wes brought a lot to the game in terms of... I think he's a great competitor, but I think he also I think he thinks the same as us. I think he was like, man, this is boring. Let me shake things up a little bit because I think he noticed the same trends. It's always the vets, and the vets get out the rookies and this and that. So I applaud him for trying to shake up the game a little bit and trying to give the rookies a chance or just shaking things up. And I think that is missing from the challenge now. People just there to shake things up. I think Devin has a little bit of that where he has a little bit of the theatrics. He likes to shake it up. But at the same time, that could also get you kicked out like what happened to him earlier. So
absolutely. But that's part of it is usually at the end, we have more of that. We have this rivalry. I can't say that word right now. Towards the end. But right now, it's literally, what is it? Johnny and his angels against the rest of that? Nobody cares. The girls are all boring that are left, so nobody really cares. I don't care what girl goes home.
Rachel's still there.
She's extremely boring. Extremely. No personality. Great body, great competitor. I'm sure in real life, a really nice person. What has she ever done? When she was in her trio with Veronica, Tina, and her, She was never the personality. She was the competitor. She never was the personality of that trio. Let's be honest. And now you're out there, you're by yourself, you still aren't going to be the personality. It's just not her gift. And I'm saying that because I'm the same way. I'm not in a group setting. I'm not Mrs. Personality. So I'm not making a dig at that. If I was in the setting, I'd be the quiet one. I'd just be laying low. I'd be doing the same thing. But it doesn't make good reality TV. I mean, I'm just going to try to like compete and do my thing. And, you know, she's kind of like a Corey, probably like too like loyal, whatever. I thought we were going to start seeing some scheming and whatever, but then it just stopped. I mean, every time we start seeing it, it just goes away and they stop talking about it and production doesn't show anything. We start ramping up like, okay.
I'm thinking there might be something with, I think nobody wants to see Johnny in the final. So there might be some scheming coming up in the next couple of episodes because the final is right around the corner. So I don't know if Banana's going to make it, but if I were them, I would not want Johnny there. Period. But I mean, we're going to have to wait and see for that. So, you know, like we mentioned earlier, it was a dog walk. It was pretty easy. Jenna won pretty handedly. I mean, she scored some out of bounds and had to redo it. But other than that, it was pretty straightforward. New targets were picked. She did cry about, you know, Vive leaving her and all that. You guys can see each other after the show. It's not that serious. But she did have to pick new targets. And, of course, she was not picking Bananas. Colin was off the table. So that just leaves Derek, Corey, and Jordan. So we have those three that are the targets for next week. Jordan's on the chopping block. Not really sure if that matters for him too much. He does have a lot of protection. And he does have a handicap on him too for losing the last challenge. So he's already not in good shape. He's not looking good here. So it's going to be, I think next episode might be a little bit better. I think we're going to see some things unfold. It's a lot narrow now.
Absolutely.
The cast is a lot smaller. So
I think next episode will be actually interesting because the only personality of the show is in danger. So it makes me want to watch because it's like, how is Johnny going to get out of this with the penalty and everything? Anybody else, I'd be like, could care less. Go home.
But man,
it's
you did bring
sad
up
when
a
we're at
good point.
Go ahead.
You did bring up a good point that what happens to the show if Johnny's gone? Like, what happens? If Johnny is gone right now, or if he was gone 2 episodes ago now, would we even be watching the show? Because
no,
what would be happening
like last
left
season.
in the show? Yeah,
it would be like last season. Nobody liked it.
Yeah, and I think that's a big, like you mentioned, I think that is a big problem. Like, one person shouldn't have to carry
production needs to do something in the diary room, start hyping them up, start creating problems, doing something to get these people going. It's sad we're at a point where I miss Josh. At least Josh brought some drama and theatricalness to this. But at least we had that. At least his flip-flopping, turning on people. It irritates you when you're watching it, but now that we're sitting and all I get to hear about is feet and Johnny's angels, I'm like, God, I wish Josh was there to flip on somebody again. Like, at least something. Josh has a personality for reality TV. He's dramatic. He's out there. He cries. You know, it might not be what you like, but at least it'll keep the episode going and have something to be like, even if you're rooting for him to go, at least it's an excitement. But without Johnny, I love Jordan too. But Jordan's been very quiet, so maybe Jordan will... So once Johnny's gone, maybe Jordan's going to step up and start running. He's smart right now. He knows he probably doesn't, you know, that's been kind of his MO this season. Let them kind of all just go after each other and I'm going to hang out. And when it's time, it's time. But, you know, I don't know. Some seasons he's more like Mr. Meditation, and some seasons he's like screaming at Anissa to get off her, you know, effing ass and run, you know? So you don't really know what you're going to get with him. So I don't want to bank that once Johnny's gone, we'll see that side, but...
Yeah. But,
I don't know.
All right,
something.
so the producers tried to... I think that's what they did last season. Even though the season wasn't great, they tried to get this new blood and they tried to flesh them out and see who they could bring returning characters and stuff like that. So I think they did try. Maybe it didn't work out, but maybe just lets us know maybe they're still trying out new things in the background, trying to see what could work. But again, I mean, that was the episode. I mean, it was there is a point update, but I think we should wait for the rest of the cast because for me it's sad. It's sad all the way around. We gotta let Raquel get her flowers and let her gloat a little bit in the next point session. So we will go over the point section next time. But if you are keeping track, we'll play the intro so you can keep track along with us if you're playing at home. And just let us know your thoughts. I mean, do you have any final thoughts before we close out the pod?
No.
No? Left it all on the table? Good. That means it's good. You got left it all on the table. So again, we want to thank you for listening to the Matches and Mayhem podcast, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye.